Hey YouTube. So, fairly nice day. It's at least sunny. It's pretty chilly out, but we don't get much sun around here, so I wanted to get out, get a little vitamin D and fresh air, and figured I'd do a little video on my tower stand out here, which I know is kind of appeared in a few of my videos, but I've never actually done a video on it. So this is something that my dad and I built about 10 years ago now, and we built it down to my grandmother's farm, and I hunted out of it quite a few years, mostly during rifle season or when it was really just kind of crappy out during archery season. And it works really well for that type of situation. I got it set up with a little buddy heater in there. I'll show you that. But when I moved up here to the new farm, I didn't want to leave it. For one, it's just something my dad and I built together. I wanted to bring it with me. And two, it's actually a really nice stand. Really nice when you're like I said, when the weather's crappy, or if you want to sit with friends and have a couple beers and just see what comes out in the field. So give you a couple tips on placement for these, because I know a lot of people are building them. They're getting really popular. So I'll talk about that, talk about what I did to build it, and talk about things I want to do to this stand in the future. So for starters, you can see that's my ladder to get up into it right now, and it blows off in the wind. Just an aluminum ladder. It's noisy getting up and in out of it. Just not ideal. Really cold on your hands in the winter. So what I'm going to probably do in the spring is build a ship's ladder that goes up to that deck up there. So that's one thing. Probably going to paint these 6x and the cross bracing. So set this drone down. When I brought this up here, we basically brought the whole top section by itself, left the 4x4s at the farm, the old farm, and put it on these new 6x6s. I borrowed my buddy's excavator, and I dug 4 holes, and me and my dad squared those up, got them where they needed to be. We had hoped, you know, we took measurements on the stand here, and we were hoping when we got everything in place and went to set it on, it'd fit right on there, and it actually did. It was went really seamless. It was nice. Had some good buddies helping me. I'll put some pictures of the move at the end of this video if you're interested in that. But let me set that ladder up, and I'll take you up in it and kind of show you how I've got this laid out so that it's easy to get into, easy to get out of. So one thing you want to be sure of is whatever you use for windows, just make sure they're quiet. And you can get as expensive or cheap as you want on these. I got these from a bargain outlet. The door too, I think the door was like 50 bucks. Each window was like 60 bucks. So, you know, I didn't have a ton into them, but they're really smooth. They're really nice, very clear. You're not spooking anything when you open these. You can open them and close them the whole time you're out here without worrying about it. I insulated it. I've got my little buddy heater there. That thing works awesome. I mean, you might go through a couple of those 5-pound propane cylinders all winter long or all season long, but it's nice having that. You can sit out here literally all day, have a couple beers, and just relax, and it's nice. Probably another project I want to do is I want to go over all this insulation with some rough cut from the sawmill, just so it keeps it up in the ceiling. Obviously it's been in for 10 years, so it's starting to fall down in a couple spots, needs stapled back up for temporary. I want to repaint, just 10 years. It's been sitting in the weather, so it's starting to get show a little age. Could use a little scraping and painting. I do want to paint the cross bracing or stain it in the 6x6s. Another thing, you know, you really want to kind of make sure you've got a good way to get in and out of these stands at the end of the night. So the way I've got it set up is my house is down there. I come up just over that knoll, get in this grove of locust trees here, walk through those, and I can get behind all this brush that I had piled up. When I came in, or when I bought the place, this field out here was nothing but brush. It was just not good pasture at all. So I pulled a bunch of that brush out, and I just ended up piling it here, and rather than burning it, I figured it makes a really nice kind of wall around here. So when you're messing around, sending your gun up or whatever, you can stay behind that 7 foot of brush and nothing sees you. Obviously you can't do that everywhere, but that's just, I made good use of it, I think, and show you kind of what the deal is here. So the deer will walk just the other side of these locusts here is my fence line. They'll walk the outside of that. They come out down in this corner all the time. Every night they're out. They work their way up all the way along that fence line, all the way to that top corner, and then they come down into that area way out there, just this side of the woods, and that is what I left unfenced for food plot. So if you watch my food plot video, that's where that takes place out there. What else? I think that's about it. I mean, just, you know, you want to, like I said, the biggest thing is being able to get in and out. If you're out here hunting bucks or something and all you see is doe some night, you can get out of the stand without spooking those doe, because chances are sooner or later they're going to bring a buck by, by you. So you don't want to mess things up for you down the road by spooking doe. So the reason, this is a little big, it's 8x8, but the reason I made it that size is because before I built my cabin, this was basically my cabin. It was kind of a hangout. Me and a couple buddies would come out. We'd sit till the end of the night, gun hunting, rifle hunting. And it was just nice to be able to fit a couple people in here, and you could have a beer or two and just relax. And so that's why I did it so big. But, if you were just doing something that it's only going to be one person, you could probably get away with a 4x4 or even smaller than that. Especially if you're just hunting rifle out of it. If you need to draw back a bow, you got to be cognizant of that and figure out how much room you need to draw. You don't want to cramp yourself in that case. So I've shot some nice deer out of this. Actually, the first deer I shot down to my grandmother's house was a real nice 8-point with the bow. It was a really rainy night, and it wasn't here, but like I said, that deer came right across the field marching, and all I did was I just opened this door real slowly because I heard him coming. I stood right here, and as soon as he got in my shooting lane, I drew, stopped him, and smoked him at like 42 yards or something. He went and piled up right in sight, so that was really neat. A lot of doe been killed out of here. I brought a kid up from church, and he got his first doe, shot her right through this opening here. He was happy as a clam, and all my buddies that have actually sat in it have pretty much killed a deer out of it. So really nice to have. Like I said, I'm gonna put some pictures of the move up to this new spot at the end of the video with some explanation there. I'm gonna take you on a little drone ride here so you can kind of see the layout of the land, and hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one. So here we are lowering the stand onto a trailer. We had it in a cradle that the guy that owned this log truck had laying around. So got kind of sketchy, came down fast. We ended up breaking the front porch off. So I rebuilt the front porch once I got it up here. There it is on the back of my buddy's trailer.
And then coming up here, we set it on the 6x6s, braced everything after we were done, just so we had some play in the tops of those posts if anything didn't fit just right. And then coming up here is the crew.